Welcome to the fan base. Welcome to the fan base. But below is the fan base.
Fourth and goal, we going forward, that's the only option. Yeah, we came to circle wagons, tell me who gon' stop us. This a no-fly zone, defense get it rocking. Gritty in the end zone, cause the camera's watching. Double coverage on Stephon, boy, who checking Davis. Dylan Josh tuck and run, he ain't nothing to play with. Shutting down the edge of Vaughn, ain't no one-on-one. Shay gon' take it to the crib like he forgot his son. Other fans still think it's sweet like we don't run the East. Dion knock him off his feet and put that boy to sleep. Welcome to Buffalo, this the fan base. Where Super Bowl ring the only mandate. 25-year drought, time to set it straight. Team full of dogs, win it all, never play it safe.
Welcome to the fan base. Welcome to the fan base. Buffalo, this the fan base.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to BILLT Different. We are your Friday night guys under the Friday night lights. As usual, I have my man Jake Jordan with me. I'm Justice General Radford, and we got a great show for you guys tonight. We're gonna be going over the Titans game a little bit, but we're gonna head into that Dolphins matchup that we have on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people saying it's a big game, I guess, or whatever. But you know, how you doing, Jake? What's going on, my bro?
Dude, we have pretty much a jam-packed show. You know, we usually, when you look at the show notes and you go like, man, there's not going to be a lot to talk about. I have a feeling this is going to be another one of those shows where we always find a way to fill in that space because, of course, this show is built different. So we've always got everything coming for you guys. And, man, Justice, I think that we should start out with the word of the day.
Let's start out with the word of the day.
Start out with the word of the day.
It could be the word of the day for 2 weeks straight, but
that's what I'm saying is that it can explain not only last week's game, but the whole season and what could be coming in the future. Let's talk about it. The word of the day, everybody. Let's step into the classroom is domination. Domination. The Buffalo Bills through 2 weeks, Justice. Do you know what the point scoring differential is?
Oh, okay. Hold on. All right. It's 72 to 17. I'm not a math major, but that's like what, 55 or 65? No, I'm pretty sure it's like 55 or something like that.
Yeah, we're absolutely destroying teams.
I'm on the spot, guys. Please don't judge me. Okay, all right, go ahead.
So Webster's dictionary, of course, defines domination as supremacy or preeminence over another. So, why are we talking about domination? Well, we just so happen to have kicked the absolute piss out of the Tennessee Titans. And let's talk about that game a little bit, Justice. What kind of like
actually,
what's up?
Real quick, speaking of domination, this show is sponsored by and presented by 26 Shirts. And shout out to 26 Shirts. They'll read the whole gang. But all right, back domination.
Right. I have lost my. There it is. I had a little.
I was right. It was 55.
Yeah.
Take that.
55.
Let's go.
There we go. I want to start. I'm gonna pull my show notes back up here. You know. So it's been 72 to 17 in the last two opponents. Justice, we went into this game. The Titans have had our number for 2 years, right? We've kind of just like we got the absolute like we got dumped on 2 years ago during the COVID game on a Tuesday. And then Josh Allen slips on a banana peel and Deion Dawkins gets absolutely blown up and we lose that game. So we lose 2 years in a row.
Strong ass banana peel, but yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest banana peel. So we go into this game. Initial thoughts before we even just talk like nitty gritty defensive, offensive players. What did you think?
I mean, bro, all right. So the reason we didn't have a show last week was on the back of me having maybe the greatest weekend of my life. So I apologize, guys, but I don't apologize that much because that weekend was amazing. But culminating that weekend, I actually went to the game. And when I tell you, like, all right, let me just paint it for you guys as a person who's never been to a game. Time moves different when you're at the stadium,
for sure.
Right? So like a big play, it's a huge play, but you're surrounded by so much energy that maybe like you aren't as excited as you might be at home. You know what I'm saying? You're excited because of the energy in the stadium, not necessarily because what you see on the field, because you can barely see anything the way you can on TV, right? It doesn't look the same. So it didn't look the same, you know, like it would in my living room where I would be losing my mind, even though I was losing my mind at the stadium. But it looked like a regular football game that I've been to, you know, so it didn't hit the same in that sense. But like watching them, because watching it from the stadium, I didn't even really realize they were dominating until I looked up the score. I was like, oh my God. Like I got it, you know, we were stopping them and we were scoring and we were all happy and stuff. But then you look at the scoreboard and it's like, holy, what is the score? Like, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you know, it was amazing. And so all right, I don't know. That was a long way to say my thoughts on the game, right? My thoughts were that Josh Allen is the best football player on the planet, relative to his position. Okay. And I say relative to his position because I want to hear that.
So
Aaron
what you're
Donald
saying is he's not 13th.
They said that those ranks happened before the playoffs, and I believe it because that was
there's no way after that game you could put him in 13, bro.
So Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is the best wide receiver quarterback combo in the NFL at this point, especially if you consider that Aaron Rodgers has lost Devontae Adams and Patrick Mahomes has lost Tyreek Hill, right? So it's bar none now, and that was not even close. And you know, to not have Gabriel Davis, to not need Khalil Shakir, excuse me, to not need Jamison Crowder, to not need Dawson Knox, to not need Devin Singletary, to not need James Cook or Seth. They didn't need anybody else except Josh Allen, Reggie Gilliam, and Stephon Diggs.
I love that you said Reggie Gilliam. That's awesome.
Those three literally destroyed the Titans on their own. Like nobody else even had like a good game. So it's just like, I don't know how anybody's supposed to stop these people. The defense looked out of their minds. You can say what you want about, you know, Micah Hyde being okay. We'll talk about the Dolphins game later, but those guys played out of their mind as well. And that's the one thing that's always been missing in Buffalo. It's like we've had good teams and we've had good opportunities, but it was never like a domination thing. It was always like, if we're going to win, we're going to win 31-24 or 27-20 for something. You know what I mean? Like, now they not playing no games. Like Stephon Diggs said, Josh don't be wanting to leave no meat on the bones, and I could see it because they don't be leaving no. And you know what's crazy is they do be leaving meat on the bones, and they still be blowing people out. That's the wildest part about all this. But I mean,
we saw Sam Martin for the first time,
and
his
what
rare,
did he do?
his rare.
He made two people muff their punts. Like, come on, man,
beautiful.
It's unstoppable. But what did you think of the game?
Well, I got to watch this one from the comfort of my. I didn't even get to watch the first quarter. I was taking an exam.
No way.
Yeah, dude. I was at school taking an exam, and I hand in my exam to my professor, and he goes, "Oh, how'd the Bills do yesterday?" I was like, "They're playing right now," and he goes, "Oh, well, I can see why you turned your test in first." I was the first one done. I got a B on it though, so we're all good.
Okay.
So I finished it. I knew what I knew the material, but then that was absolutely. Oh, Spin just dropping all these beautiful things in there. No, I love the game. Honestly, I've went and watched it back on replay. Obviously, they replayed it on NFL Network as well. And I
got a website for you. I'll tell you off air.
Okay, well, I've got NFL Plus, so I get those game replays. But I might still need that.
I got you.
But no, man, like that game is just a bar none. The Buffalo Bills look like they're in a completely different stratosphere, and there were a couple of moments in the game that were scary. And even throughout injury, this team has just shown exactly what we've seen that Brandon Beane has been building, and that is a team that is so deep. The next man up, even if it's a practice squad guy, it's somebody who has the experience and has been able to learn under this and step right in and take over those spots. So, you know, I'm I'm not as concerned as maybe a lot of other people are going into this week, but that game is just absolutely amazing. And to speak on like what you said, that first experience, that being your first game, man, what a hell of a first game to go to. Monday Night Football.
Talk about it, bro.
Monday Night Football.
I mean, like, okay, all right. I'm gonna give you guys a brief, about as brief as I can get. Synopsis of my weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Friday night, my man Jay Spence the King. Shout out to him. Had karaoke night. That was incredible. Met so many people. Met Joe Miller. Met Jay Spence. Met Amanda.
People we just do shows.
Sarah. Like I met all these people, right? Exactly. And then Saturday, the beer release at Resurgence. Shout out to Joe Miller and Jay Spence. Shout out to everybody at Rumblings. That was awesome. I got to hang out with a few people. Shout out to Kate, my new bestie. Then Sunday, what was Sunday? Oh, Joe Kroom had a showing at his studio. There's a whole bunch of people there. That was awesome. And then we did some stuff after. I can tell you.
I know about the stuff that happened afterward. We've talked about.
Oh, right. Yeah, I told you. Of course, I told you.
Yeah.
And then Monday, I tailgated all day at the Bills Mafia house, and then shout out to I gotta remember his name. So I wasn't gonna go to the game originally, right? And I'm like, these tickets is mad expensive, B. Like, I'm not paying $300.
It was like 200 plus, right? Like
crazy. So I'm like, I'm not paying that. Somebody was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it in from Washington or wherever he lived. Well, I'm not gonna blow your spot up, bro. But he lived somewhere else and he wasn't gonna be able to make it in because his flight got canceled. Bro, I gave me 8 tickets. He said he bought 4. And then he accidentally bought 4 more and had nothing to do with the ticket. So he gave me 8 tickets. So shout out to my boy Ronnie Bookman. I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'm sorry, man. Ronnie Beckman. I'm gonna say it's Beckman because that sounds right. B-O-E-C-K.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Appreciate you, Ronnie. You are the man. Sorry you couldn't make it.
The
but
GOAT.
Next time you do, or I owe you a beer, some wings, whatever. But and then that allowed me to sit next to Kate. It was just a really good time. So it was really awesome. But enough about my weekend, right? Oh, we got a major announcement. I even told Jake this yet. This is like, I don't even think Mookie knows this yet.
I'm on edge now. I don't.
Okay. We got a special announcement. NFL Sundays, Buffalo Bills Sundays, and whenever they play, pregame show will be hosted by none other than the legendary Hall of Fame nominee, Hall of Fame candidate, Ruben Brown. So you guys are going to be in for a treat this season. My man Ruben is going to be hosting the pregame shows. That's going to be amazing. I'm so sorry. I am totally off Jake's script. What's next, bro?
Completely off the script, but definitely. I mean, if you want to know just the trajectory of where this brand is going, we got former NFL players hosting pregame shows. Not only is this show built different, but so is this damn network. So make sure you're following along. Just like we're about to follow along to this script. Again, it doesn't really matter. Like this, we got.
No, I know.
I love.
You work hard on it. I ain't trying to.
I love hearing you talk about that because I went to my first Bills game last year. When we played when we played Washington, and we destroyed them. And it was just kind of like at that point, it was just me, my beer, and all the dudes around me. Like it didn't matter. Like all the people around me, we were just why would Jake leave?
Hilarious.
I'm sorry, Spin. I didn't even know it was on the script. Come on. But no, it's such a different. I don't blame you. You're like you're seeing that they're dominating, but you're also just kind of there in the moment. That's the awesome thing about going to those games. And you can always go watch it back and do your analysis. Then right there, that moment, it's so special and it's awesome. And that's why I want to go back twice this year. Hell, before I know it, I'm just going to be going all 17 times to every single
right.
Hey, I'm just going to keep building it up every single year.
Season tickets incoming soon.
But it was an absolutely beautiful game. And, we have to give the offensive player of the game. Justus, if you had to pick someone who was the offensive player of the game, I mean, I know most of the guys weren't there, with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter and the rest of the game.
Right, yeah.
But if you had to give it to someone, who are you giving it to?
You know what? There are two obvious candidates, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they get too much. Oh, let me rephrase what I'm about to say.
Whoa!
All right, because what I was about to say was
Hold on,
totally
big
false.
fella. Come on, let's chill out.
They get enough credit, okay? Mm-hmm. Not too much, but they get the appropriate amount of credit, right? They're ballers. They ball out. They're the reason we are who we are, right? I'm gonna go with Reggie Gilliam.
Yeah, I knew that was
my
coming.
boy, the fullback. Fullbacks matter. I'm going with Reggie Gilliam, offensive player of the week. He made a key catch.
Yeah,
he got open for another key. That was a beautiful, beautiful route. Josh just barely missed him a little bit. Then of course the screenplay, you break 2 tackles and you go in for the score that sets the tone for the game.
I mean,
you get the beautiful sludge hammer highlight clip, which I appreciate as a video editor.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice to use.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna use that a lot. So I'm going to go with Reggie Gilliam. He is a very, very underrated, unsung hero for our offense. He's kind of like, I don't want to say this because it hasn't happened, but I feel like our offense is better when he's on the field, which is very weird to say about a fullback, right? But it kind of gives me shades of Isaiah McKenzie last year, where it was like, why is Isaiah McKenzie not on the field? Anytime he leaves the field, our offense stalls. But when he's on the field, we're balling out of control, right? So it kind of gives me shades of that. Of course, we haven't seen the offense not balling, so it's hard to say that. But I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. I do think the offense is better when it's on the field. So I'm gonna go with Reggie Gilliam for offensive player of the week. Jake, who you got for us, bro?
So I knew that, there's about 3 candidates that you could really go with here, with Reggie Gilliam maybe not being the one that a lot of people would pick because he's a fullback. But the crazy thing is, we talked about it on Wednesday, talking about what this offensive scheme looks like. And if you go back in the archives of first round bye now, Built Different, is, we talked about, what is this offense going to look like? We all kind of assumed it was just going to be Brian Daboll, but hopefully more polished and with a little bit more of the run game thrown in. And what I'm seeing with these sets and the use of a fullback, this is Shanahan-esque. And it is...
That's a great point.
And it's like Kyle Juszczyk is the one fullback that everybody kind of remembers his name. Reggie Gilliam could be that guy too when they line him up in those sets. He will be used, and I absolutely love that. What's up, T?
Hey,
down there.
T's down in the building. What's going on? That's family. That's family. I'm sorry.
Always has been. So yeah, man, I love Reggie Gilliam as the pick. Of course, just to detract from you since you already said him, I'm gonna go Stephon Diggs. Of course, Josh Allen did Josh Allen things.
Absolutely.
He went out there and it was just like, yeah, that's Josh. And I feel so spoiled being able to say that. Right. I don't think there will ever be a moment where I do not feel gratitude for Josh Allen being our quarterback. And I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs, 12 receptions, 148 yards, and 3 TDs. I mean, that's just Stephon Diggs. We didn't have Gabe Davis this game. We didn't have Gabe Davis. And you're like, okay, well, then they're definitely going to make an emphasis to shut down Diggs. They might have tried, but it didn't work. And it had everybody sitting midway through the third quarter to where Malik Willis, which is crazy because I don't know if you remember when we simulated the Titans game and they were struggling against us, I said, this might be the time when the team would pull Ryan Tannehill and put Malik Willis in.
You sure did. Yes, you did.
And that's why I had the nickname. I don't know what it's so weird. It's so weird. But yeah, and it happened, and Malik Willis didn't look any better. And yeah, the Stephon Diggs player of the game, I mean, the offense couldn't be stopped. It was just it didn't matter that we didn't have, Gabe Davis. We had, I believe our leading rusher was James Cook, and he had 11 carries for 55 yards. But it really just seemed like, which surprised me. I thought we just abandoned the run game, but towards the end of the game, we were just running it to get that clock down. So yeah, Stephon Diggs is my player of the game. Of course, for every great thing the offense does, there always seems to be a great thing that the defense does. Defensive player of the game, Justus. Do you have a defensive player of the game, or are we just going to go with what we have on the script here?
My defensive player of the game is none other than superstar middle linebacker Tremaine Edmonds.
Oh man, so many dislikes just rolled in on here.
Superstar middle linebacker Tremaine Edmonds.
Are you sure you want to say superstar? Superstar.
Tremaine Edmonds has been balling out of control this entire. I mean, it's two games.
Again, it's
2 games.
Again, everything we could say could be overreacting.
Jake, no. What did we say this offseason? What did we say? Who could have a big year this year because of what? The fortitude of the defensive line.
And Daquan Jones.
Von Miller, Jordan Phillips, Tim Settle. The defensive line being fortified is going to benefit Tremaine Edmonds. And what you see? Tremaine Edmonds running through the gaps. Oh, actually, shout out to my boy Mikey. That's fan base family right there. But Tremaine Edmonds going through gaps. Tremaine Edmonds making plays. Tremaine Edmonds being all over the football field. That's facts. Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano have both been playing absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
But Matt Milano doesn't get flack. So I don't know. I don't know why. Like, if y'all gonna give Tremaine flack, then I'm sure you could find something to give Matt Milano flack about. I mean, Matt Milano, if you think Matt Milano is better than Tremaine Edmonds, it's not by that much. And I don't think he's better. So I mean, not.
I also think they're different in a sense.
They are
kind of
exactly. That's why I said I don't want to compare them because they are. Yeah. They're different. They play different roles.
Their roles are different. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm giving it to Tremaine Edmonds because Tremaine Edmonds has stepped up and he's playing like the number 16th pick in the first round. Jake, who's your defensive player of the week?
I can't name just one. I got to put the whole defensive line. That whole defensive line. I almost wanted to say Christian Benford because, he had a few nice tackles out there that made me go, man, that's why he's out there and Kyer isn't. I mean, when he's pulling down Derrick Henry, it's like, ooh, okay. But yeah,
right. That was a great tackle.
Yeah, that was a great tackle. That was Benford, but no, that was I had to put the whole defensive line because again, just look at what they did to Derrick Henry. He had what was it? I believe
13 carries for 25 yards.
13 carries for 25 yards. 5 of his carries were for negative yardage. They knew, hey, it almost felt like before A.J. Brown emerged from the Titans, or for the Titans, that's what it felt like. Whenever we played Derrick Henry, it was just kind of like, all right, we need to stop Derrick Henry because nobody else is going to really kill us. And that's what this game felt like. Without A.J. Brown, this offense is pedestrian and so just one-track minded. Man, it was Russo had some good plays too, Charlie. That's why I got to say, the whole defensive line. They didn't have Oliver, but, man, Jordan Phillips came in there. He stepped right in. That's why I love the whole defensive line. I had to give it to all those boys. That they are nasty, and I think they're going to be pivotal in what we have to do this week against the Dolphins. But we'll talk about that after. What's more likely, Justice? So we have 3 different what's more likely scenarios, and of course, everybody in the comment section, feel free to hop in this. I'm going to put on a little bit of NFL films music kind of in the background, and we're going to start off with, once I actually hear the music going, that's fine. There we go. We're fine with that. There you go. Wait a second, but there we go. So now I got the NFL films music. 2 of your favorite players in the whole entire world, Justin. What's more likely?
You so stupid.
Can you please pull that off of the screen, my friend?
Oh, he said two of my favorite players. That's hilarious.
Tua passes for 3+ touchdowns, or Joe Burrow throws for 4.
What's more likely?
What's more likely?
That I'll pass for 3 touchdowns this weekend.
Neither
of those things are happening.
Sir.
What's more likely? Who does Joe Burrow play?
Just gotta answer the question. What's more likely?
Who do the Bengals play?
The Bengals play, and I've got the schedule just over here. They play the Jets.
Oh, God. All right. I'll say that one is more likely, but I don't think that's happening either. The Jets might F around and beat the Bengals this weekend, y'all.
I mean, I wanted to so bad put something about, are the Jets better with Joe Flacco? Better with Joe Flacco than they are with Zach Wilson?
I wouldn't say that. I think the Jets
lead that drive. Those drives to win that game.
That's a good point. But at the same time,
he also actually Super Bowl MVP.
I think the Jets do have a pretty decent foundation that they're building, and so I don't think they'll be trash. I think they'll be a serviceable team, and I think that game isn't necessarily a fluke. That they actually might be a pretty decent team this year.
Yeah, I think too. Again, we kind of had them in the same tier when we talked about it as the Patriots, and I think the Patriots are going to be just a mid team. They're not going to be the worst teams in the league, but they're also not going to be one of the best.
I predicted the Patriots would come in 4th this season. So
you did. We only have 1 game difference. Me and you swapped the Patriots and the Jets, but it was by 1 game. So, man, I already like this what's more likely already because we got another guy that you have been, dogging a little bit, and we got to talk about it.
More likely.
What's more likely? Pull it off the screen for me, please, before this pops up. There we go. Mahomes will throw multiple picks, or Matt Ryan throws for multiple touchdowns. What's more likely?
Well, this one isn't really that hard. I would say Ryan throws for multiple touchdowns.
After simply because got blanked by the Jaguars?
I'll tell you why. Because if Patrick Mahomes throws an interception, there's going to be a random yellow flag on the field, or the defense is going to be dumbfounded and randomly drop it. I don't know what this guy has on the NFL, but if he's running, defenders are just like, nah, I'm not going to hit him. If he throws it, defenders are like, I'm going to drop this game-winning INT. It just, I don't know what it is. He's the luckiest MFer in the world, so... and Matt Ryan again, he's a former MVP. The Colts look like some ass. I'm not gonna lie, but
we talked about it on Wednesday, man.
I could see him, throwing a couple to what was it, multiple INTs or was there a number on it?
Mahomes, here I'll pull it up again first. Multiple picks or Matt Ryan throws multiple TDs.
Yeah, I could see a couple 2-yard touchdowns or something. I'm not gonna say he can go out there and throw for 250 or nothing, but. Yeah, I could see a couple of, goal line throws that result in a touchdown.
So the Colts get Shaquille Leonard back this week. And
did he change his name?
Yeah, it was Darius Leonard, but
Shaquille okay, yeah.
And I think that's more pressure on Mahomes. He already looked like again, we saw what he looked like against the Chargers. This is not a terrible pass rush of the Colts. So I will have to see. Stephon Gilmore's out there. He likes to snag a couple of those. Maybe he's not going to drop them, but this last one's kind of my favorite. So the Ravens. What's more likely? Lamar goes to play the Patriots this week. What is more likely? Lamar Jackson leads the rushing, or the Pats running backs all together have more rushing yards than Lamar in this game?
That's a great question.
Lamar's been, he's killer, and these linebackers and this defense for the Patriots is slow.
I'm gonna say Lamar, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't think the Patriots are going to have the firepower to be able to keep up with the Ravens. And, the Ravens' winning style is largely based on Lamar Jackson, and his rushing abilities. So I'm going to say that he is winning the game because of his rushing abilities. Therefore, the Patriots cannot rush. They have to pass, and therefore he will end up with more rushing yards.
I love how sensible you are, Justus. That's exactly how I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
As well, with your awesome Street Fighter T-shirt on.
Thank you. I'm glad you noticed. This is hard.
I love that. I love that. And I couldn't agree more with you. I think that once the Patriots are down, they cannot run. They just can't run it. They'll have to throw it. And I think that Lamar eventually is just going to have more yards than their entire running back room. Let's see. That Baltimore D is poo-poo.
Their pass D is poo-poo. Their run D is not awful.
Yeah, not absolutely terrible. But I like the interaction. People liking the what's more likely. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of those. Since, I kind of liked these. This is just kind of behind the scenes thing. I kind of liked these because it kind of looks like comic book font.
It does.
I like that. We're gonna do that more often. I like the what's more likely. So it's only 3 this week, but Justus, you have Burrow throwing 4 touchdowns is more likely. Matt Ryan throwing multiple TDs is more likely, and Lamar rushing for more than the entire New England running back room is more likely.
I don't like that you put 4 TDs for Burrow on you. That was mean.
They're playing the Jets, and I mean, look what the Browns did to him. The Browns got up big, so I think the Bengals can do it as well. So I don't think the Jets, they're gonna have Jamar with.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, I love that. Yeah, thank you, Dean. I love that everybody loves that. So let's get right into it. I gotta pull in the schedule. I gotta find a different way. I'm gonna need a whole third monitor to just have, the schedule for the show on. So we did what's more likely. Now we get to talk about the Bills' Week 3 opponent this week. Justus.
Squish the fish.
Bills versus Dolphins. And look, I think the first thing we got to talk about is this. The Bills injury report.
Sheesh.
I mean, look at this. First of all, Ed Oliver out. Jordan Phillips out. That is
Daniel
not
Jackson
something
out. Micah Hyde out.
So we talk about this pass rush, right? And we're gonna still have Daquan Jones, but I mean, next to him, who are we running? Are we running someone on the inside? Are we gonna put Boogie Basham inside?
Boogie Basham is known to play inside. So
yeah, that was the one thing that he's not. I feel like that wouldn't be such a bad idea. But let's go through it, right? Gabe Davis, he was limited all week, so he's questionable. I think he does play.
I hope to God he plays. I hope he plays.
Because
I just want to see him do well. I don't think we need him. I just want to see him do well.
My thing is, if you look at Ed Oliver, right? He also has an ankle injury. Limited. They called him out. I feel like if Gabe Davis wasn't going to play, he would have been called out. They would have put him as out. So I think he's probably a game time decision, and they're just going to see how he kind of feels that day. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't want to play because, he's one of the one thing everybody's talking about. Oh, how the Bills going to do in this hot weather? Gabe Davis has lived down here for most of his whole life, his whole life. So he would love to come down here and squish these fish. Next, again, Micah Hyde. So this is a big one, right? Because Jordan Poyer is also on this injury report, but Micah Hyde is not going to be there, right? He's not going to be there. And now he's seeking a second opinion for his neck. Who knows that what's going on with that situation? Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Maybe it's just trying to get a little bit more clarification, but I mean, just looking from this, we got Poyer and Hyde on here. One is out, one is questionable. We got 2 rookie corners starting against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So that means DeMar Hamlin and possibly or Jaquan Johnson, either one or both of them is going to have to start with 2 rookie corners. That's concerning.
Well, I know Jaquan Johnson is starting, or at least that's what I heard on ESPN. So I hope they know what they're talking about, and they didn't just say that on national TV. But so I mean, this is where Leslie Frazier proves to y'all that this isn't a game. This is where he proves to y'all that this isn't a joke. That y'all want to talk about 13 seconds, y'all want to talk about this and that. This is where he proves to y'all that he's him. And I'm telling y'all, he's him. All right, Leslie Frazier, you guys have been sitting here telling us, oh, Buffalo Bills have the number one defense statistically, but they don't have the number one defense roster. Yes, we know. That's what we're trying to tell y'all. We don't even have the roster to have a number one defense, and yet we keep doing it. Like, they don't have the players who are like superstars that are out here just making game-wrecking plays to create a number one defense. We have some good players. We have a lot of serviceable players with high upside. You've seen how well this team is scouted, especially in the secondary. You look at Dane Jackson was a late round pick. Teron Johnson was a mid-round pick. You know, like Tre'Davious White was your first round pick. He's been injured since last year Thanksgiving, and we've been perfectly fine without him. I mean, I'm not saying that because we don't need Tre'Davious. I would love to have Tre'Davious White back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they'll be fine. All right. I get it. This is Tua Tagovailoa. This is Tyreek Hill. This is Jalen Waddle. This is Mike Gesicki. I get it. That's a very formidable quadruple. That's a very formidable assets and weaponry, right? I don't know what the word for triple is.
Quadruple.
No. I knew that. Never mind. Okay. All right. I'm not saying that they're not good.
A group of four. Just
they are. Yeah, exactly. Gesicki's a beast. All right. Tyreek Hill's an all-pro. Jalen Waddle will probably be an all-pro, if not this year at some point, right? So I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just simply saying that Leslie Frazier is the guy. He's that guy. Like, force him. So he's going to show you. I've been saying this for 2 years now. Leslie Frazier don't give a damn how great of an athlete you are. I mean, of course, that plays into it, but he wants people who are the same thing as Sean McDermott. They want people who can follow, the regime, who can trust the process, who are good people, who can, be coachable.
Yeah.
So you're going to put people on the field. They've been practicing behind Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde their entire life, or their entire careers, rather. And so I'm sure they've learned something enough. They've learned a lot. Micah Hyde said that when Jordan Poyer wasn't there, they didn't miss a beat with Jaquan Johnson, right? And I'm not saying that they won't miss a beat without these great players. I'm simply saying that they will do more than enough to win the game because Leslie Frazier is going to put his players in the place they need to be to succeed. All they have to do is go do it. And I think that we have the talent serviceable enough to do that. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a. See, I don't want to sound offensive, right? Yes, they're a big deal, and that's a big deal. But I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be like the Trey White situation, where you're like, remember when people was like, "Oh, damn, we're not going to win the Super Bowl now that Trey White is gone," and we pretty much we were the best team in the playoffs. If we're being quite honest, we just came back and smacked the defending champions. And the Chiefs lost to the bum-ass Bengals. So we were really the best team, even without Tre'Davious White. And I think that it sucks to not have Micah Hyde, but I think we'll be fine, without him.
Sure. And of course, the show you're watching here is Built Different on the Buffalo Fan Base YouTube channel, brought to you by the beautiful people over at 26 Shirts. We gotta flaunt that. Gotta be they are behind us all the way. And of course, this show is Built Different. And if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're gonna keep talking about this Bills injury report a little bit. And of course, Justice, we'll go a little bit more into how the defense is gonna play against this Dolphins offense a little bit when we go really into the game. And I really just want to say I really agree with you. I think that it all is going to come down to Leslie Frazier. And look, Jaquan Johnson has been here a while. All right. Like he's not going to be a slouch. It's not like he's going in there. This isn't some Walmart grocery bag boy that you brought in and this is his first time ever running this system. No, these guys know. And DeMar Hamlin, he's a couple-year guy who's been here. He knows. And if the Bills didn't feel confident about that, then they would have brought back a guy like Dean Marlowe or someone who's just hanging around out there who's been in the system before. But no, I'm pretty sure that, we're kind of like, if we have to think about this as doomsday scenario and you go, okay, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are out, right? Okay, then both of those guys, I think, and Dean definitely will be talking about that. We'll go back and we'll bring up some of these comments that people are talking about, the safeties and everything. It's just that I think that people are kind of overhyping it a little bit too much. This defensive coaching staff will put these players in the best position to succeed, and it will come down to those players to be able to execute it. That is all we're going to have to worry about. If it comes to, are these guys going to go out there and be the worst? No, they wouldn't be on the team if they couldn't run it. So I'm not too worried about that. Just a couple more to go through here. Defensive tackle, Tim Settle, questionable. Jordan Poyer, questionable. And Dawson Knox, questionable. I have a feeling that, Dawson Knox will play. And, Mitch Morse, limited. He's questionable. I'm pretty sure he'll play because I'm pretty sure they don't want to keep running Van Roten at the center position. And this is a good D line we're going against. So, of course, we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to that section, which actually might be right now, Justus. We're going to be talking about the Bills offense versus the Dolphins defense. Now, let's not beat around the bush here. I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue. Josh Allen, again, it's fun to say that Josh Allen is 7-0 against the Dolphins. But the points that the Bills offense, look, this isn't some completely different coaching staff or anything like that. I know people like to be like, oh, it's Mike McDaniel. But part of the plan of them hiring McDaniel was also they wanted him to keep the the defensive coaching staff that was there when they've been a great defense. So why would they want to blow that up with that side of the coaching staff? And, they have been like a pretty good defense. I'm not going to say they're bad because they're not. They got names on that defense, right? So, but the Bills offense seems to always, absolutely destroy them. So what in history has made me, have to think right now that they're not going to do the absolute same thing, Justus? What do you think? What do you think this Bills offense does against this Dolphins D?
I was saying it, this kind of reminds me of like trauma. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know how hurt people, right?
Sure.
If your dad beat you, you probably beat your kids, right? Mm-hmm. Just like Tom Brady smacked us around 20 years ago. Josh Allen is back because he has traumatic stress disorder, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder, mm-hmm. All right? All of us do, okay? We have been hurt. We've been abused. And now we have no choice but to abuse everybody else. Okay, this is a really effed up analogy.
I was about to say, what are we doing here? I'm not going to say yes. I'm just going to sit here and let you keep going.
But the Dolphins, listen, all right, it's nothing personal. It's very personal. Y'all got to get this work. I'm sorry. All right, look, the last 7 games really should have been the last 8 games if not for Charles Clay, right? Last 7 games. Let's talk about the last 2 games. Josh Allen hung 4 on you, and then 35 on you. And that 35 piece came with a zipping on the other side of the football. Mm-hmm. All right. This Dolphins team is not that different, okay? You got one more player, granted a great player, but, I mean, it's not that different. I think they got Melvin Ingram too. So I mean,
Melvin Ingram.
Yeah. I'm not even mad at that. We just shut down the strong. We just contained Aaron Donald. We just contained Jarrell Casey. We just contained Jeffrey. So I'm not necessarily so much worried about a Jalen Phillips or a Melvin Ingram, right? Or what's the defensive tackle kid they got out of Clemson?
Who? For the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Their defensive tackle, they just play Ogba.
Ogba's good too. But I'm not worried about it. I know that we've seen Stephon Diggs cook Xavier Henry. We've seen him cook Byron Jones. We've seen him cook anybody that is out there in that teal and blue or whatever, because I'm colorblind. I don't know their colors, but that nasty little group of blues and oranges they got, it's disgusting. We've seen Stephon Diggs cook everybody in those uniforms. We've seen Josh Allen go absolutely nuclear versus this team. I don't know what y'all think has changed other than our offensive coordinator who is on even more of a rampage than our old one was. So, I mean, look, man, I'm going to sound crazy if we end up losing, but I really I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see a route for the Dolphins to win short of Jaquan Johnson just absolutely saying, I don't understand any defense that Leslie Frazier is telling me to run. And if by some, knock on wood, by some, divine intervention and cornerbacks and safeties just let Tyreek Hill run wild like he did in Baltimore, then okay, then I don't know what else to do. I mean, I still don't think they'll be able to do it enough times to keep up with Josh Allen. But I really just don't see a path for them to win. They're going to have to run the ball in order to get to it, to be any kind of, to have any kind of success. Because if you are going to if you're Tua Tagovailoa and you're just going to step back and drop back the pass with 4 people rushing you and getting pressure, that means 8 people. No, that means 7 people dropping back into coverage. You're not completing the pass versus this secondary, right? Versus this back 7. It's not happening. So you would either have to hope that they blitz you and you immediately know what to do in that situation, or that the front 4 is not getting pressure. I don't think either of those situations is a viable way for Tua Tagovailoa to have a good game passing. And the rushing defense has been even better than the passing defense, arguably. So they're not going to have that rushing game to lean on to be able to create, pass attempts off the play action. I just don't see how it happens.
And I love you bringing up their whole defense, and kind of just as a whole looking at the game going like, the path going off of what has happened in the past. Obviously you don't want to sit there and go like, oh, well, this happened in the past. Well, this is the new team this year, but really the defense isn't any different. Look, the Bills have not had any trouble being able to go after this Dolphins defense at all. Like, again, like you said, Xavier Howard, look, Stephon Diggs doesn't care what your name is. He doesn't care what your ranking is in the order of cornerbacks in the league. He went and cooked Jalen Ramsey. Last year, he cooked J.C. Jackson multiple times. And he's not afraid. He will go after. He has literally broken Xavier Howard's ankles so bad he was injured and had to leave the game, and their number 1 corner was only Byron Jones. Like, the first year we had Stephon, he did that. Go back and look. He had to leave and go to the sideline because he was done. And it's literally like, I don't see a path to where, look, they're gonna have to get some stops. Like, if they want to be in this game, they have to be the one defense in the league that is going to be able to stop Josh Allen. And if you just look back at history, they've never been able to do it. So their path to winning this game, like, lies on them having to do something that they've never shown us that they can do before. So yeah, I don't think the Bills offense is going to have any trouble. I don't think Nick Needham's going to be able to keep up with any of the people that we have in the slot. Like, Isaiah McKenzie notoriously does have pretty good games against the Dolphins because Nick Needham just gets absolutely bullied by him because of the speed. It's just kind of what happens. It's par for the course. And, we've talked, look, nothing shows that their defense is going to be able to stop it. But just as on offense, they've showed that, Tyreek Hill does have an effect. He has somewhat of an effect, and, we can dispel this if we want to. I definitely have my things that I want to say about it, but the Bills defense, obviously, we just saw how hurt it's going to be. We're going to have 2 rookie corners, and we're going to have hopefully Jordan Poyer out there. I really would feel way more confident if at least Jordan Poyer, a guy who's been, a leader, a vocal leader on the team, him and Micah Hyde have been just one of those guys out there to help those young guys that are out there, just kind of, to make sure everything's good. Because when you got a guy like DeMar Hamlin, who's only had a couple years in the league, and you got a guy like Jaquan Johnson, but then you got two rookies. Like, I can't help but think back to what just happened with the Ravens, where they had a rookie corner sitting out there, and he thought that there was going to be safety help over top, but there wasn't going to be. That safety was dropping and going to the other side of the field, and Tyreek Hill just ran right past it. And it was just a miscommunication. That's the things I'm afraid of. I feel like there is probably room for a couple of those in the game. Thankfully, we have an offense that isn't going to take their foot off the pedal. And like, if the Dolphins score, they're not going to be like the Ravens and just go out there and then absolutely dump themselves and like have to just walk off the field. Like, Josh Allen will come out like, oh yeah, that was a cute touchdown, I'll put up another one, that's fine. Or we have the type of offense where we're like, yeah, you know what, you guys seem to be getting a little bit of steam here, we're just going to run it. We're just going to keep running and, getting these clutch first downs and making sure you guys have no time to do it. The Bills have the ability to do that, whereas the Ravens look like they did the first half of the game, and then in the third quarter and then the fourth quarter, it just completely disappeared. So, Justus, this is a different Dolphins offense. Obviously, Mike McDaniel, much better play caller than Chan Gailey and anybody else that they've had before with Tua. Definitely a lot more intricate of an offense where they're going to scheme these players open a little bit more. And it's a little bit less on Tua, more on just Tua, like making sure that he gets the ball there when these guys are going to be open, and less of him having to make a decision. So what do you think of this new Dolphins offense against this Bills defense that's, hurt?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that I don't think you really have to worry about Jaquan Johnson getting lost, because I think his only responsibility on Sunday is going to be cover the side of the field that you're on. Deep.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Do not drop. We're not dropping.
I don't need you to do anything, but cover deep. All right. Mm-hmm. That's all you're doing the entire game. Unless Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle is not on the field, you cover in deep. Okay. And then of course you have your Jordan Poyer who may potentially play. You can do Jordan Poyer things because we know what to do, right? But also, one thing I want to bring to people's attention is, look, how many times did you guys see Tua throw the ball as far as he could, and Tyreek Hill's running by himself and he has to stop?
Dude, that big one that they throw where Tyreek absolutely burnt the dude, right? Where like the guy miscommunication, he runs right past him. He's wide open. The amount of like Tua throwing his whole body into that throw to get it down there. I noticed it when he threw it. I was like, damn, he had to heave that one down.
And it was like floating.
Yeah.
It wasn't a missile. It was like not a duck exactly, but it was just like in the air forever. Yeah. And then Tyreek had to stop for it, catch it, and then you saw him start running fast as hell. It was like, oh my God, he wasn't even running at full speed and he had to stop, right? Then there was the other deep ball where Tyreek Hill mosses the hell out of the Ravens defensive back, right? He shouldn't have had to moss that man. That should have been a walk-in touchdown or a back of the end zone touchdown. There was no reason he should have had to go up, and get that pass. It was underthrown as well. I'd tell you what. You throw one of them passes against the 4.4 speed Kyer Elam. You throw one of those passes against Christian Benford. You throw one of those passes against Jordan Poyer. It's going to get picked off. This is not the Ravens.
Jordan Poyer has a knack for picking off Tua. Like he loves to do it. So did Tre'Davious White, which sucks that Trey White's not in here because he loves to get at least one off Tua.
I'm not mad. I'm not going to lie. I'm not mad that Trey White's not in here because for me, it just means that y'all ain't even seen the level of play that the Bills could potentially have. We haven't seen the level of play that this current iteration of the Buffalo Bills could potentially have. The first two games, they had turnovers. Second game, the first game they had turnovers. Second game, they had, a couple plays where they would have wanted that back, like the Josh Allen one where he threw into the dirt on 3rd and 1. I'm sure he wants that one back because that could have potentially led to another touchdown and more points, right? So we haven't even seen them play to their full potential. So now you bring back Tre'Davious White. Yeah, you potentially bringing in Odell Beckham.
I wanted to bring that up, Justus.
It's gonna get real, y'all.
So my buddy Aaron, who he's a Eagles fan that lives in Philly, and he texted me on Monday during the game. I completely forgot about it. He goes, "Them Bills looking mighty good so far," and I'm like, me and this guy, we try not to talk football that much because we're always talking trash. And like, I'll be like, if the Bills ever met your Eagles, they beat that kind of stuff. So he goes, I say Bills clutch the AFC this year. I expect nothing less. I'm loving Josh Allen and Diggs and Von Miller on D. Bro, they're so stacked. But if they actually do cop OBJ, it's over. The Super Bowl inbound. I'm just like, yeah, that's.
I don't even think we need OBJ to be Super Bowl. OBJ would just be like, I don't know. It'd be like one of them wedding cakes where you just put the bride and the groom on top.
Yeah, you're putting the wedding topper on. That's
you got
the
plenty of cake. Exactly.
Yeah. So I definitely think, look, this team, there were some throws that Tua threw where I was just like, yep, there's Tua. Like it just looked like it's just like the miscommunication. He's not consistent. He's really not. He's had one consistent quarter in the last 2 games that he's played. I mean, just go back and watch them against the Patriots. Like, if you don't want to say that using the narrative of it was more the Ravens collapsing than it was Tua having a great game. Don't get me wrong. Tua, he just took advantage of it. He did what you should do as a quarterback, and he did. He was clutch in that 4th quarter, and they win the game.
For sure. But he made a couple good throws.
Yeah, he did.
The joint to Jalen Waddle where he gave him a chance and he went up and got he made a couple of clutch throws. Take it away from him.
But just go back and watch him against the Patriots the week before. They had 1 offensive touchdown. 1. They looked terrible. And that's against the Patriots. And that's a good defensive coaching staff, And the Ravens were absolutely destroying them, except for a few splash plays that kept them in the game throughout 3 quarters. Like, nothing about that screams consistency to me. And I think it's just very, very overhyped. And if it's that volatile to where out of the last 8 quarters you played, 1 of them was very productive on offense, that's still not telling you very much. So I'm not scared. Most Bills fans, we're not scared. If anything, we're just annoyed that we have to keep hearing about, Josh Allen. I don't know. Maybe there was a Bills Mafia doing this, but Josh Allen, when he was, kind of having his mid years, while he's still learning, we didn't go to the Patriots who still had Tom Brady, right? And go, oh yeah, Josh Allen had this really good quarter. We're tied with you in the division. You're 1 game behind you. We're coming for you. We're better. You're scared of us. You're scared. Where now I'm feeling all this week, is this what Patriots fans felt like? All those years?
We had a point though, because the Patriots were on a down end. They were coming off the mountain and we were going up the mountain. So we saw them eye to eye. We knew they were coming down. We're at the top of the mountain, and the Dolphins are down here talking about something. We're
climbing. They're climbing, right? But they're shouting at the dude planting his flag at the top of the mountain.
Exactly.
And they're saying I'm a better climber than you.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, then why did I reach the summit first? Look, I don't understand it. I think that they're a good team. They're climbing, but the problem was we built our team at the right time, right? Patriots were coming down, 20 years of success. They did great. Then we built our team and we've kind of taken over, right? That's kind of been what we did. The Dolphins are building a team at the same time as we're still getting better and just getting better. And like, I don't see like, yeah, Josh Allen's money kicks in next year, but I just don't see the Dolphins, who are on year 3 of Tua. So they're getting close to time to where they might have to pay the guy if he's really the guy, you know? So it's like, there's so many things that could go wrong for them. So many, like, we paid Josh Allen, and it's like, yeah, because we know Josh Allen, at least for the next like 8 to 10 years, is going to be like, good luck, right? With Tua, you know, everything is around Tua. Whereas Josh Allen, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff around Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has also elevated. Like, he's gotten to the point where any team would love to throw that kind of bag at Josh Allen to have him, right? Whereas Tua,
weapons need Josh Allen. Tua needs weapons.
Exactly. Thank you. You need to clip that. There you go. That is the perfect description of what these two teams are. And that's Josh Allen makes every weapon around him better, whereas all the weapons around Tua help him look better. And that's kind of what it is. And yeah, the Dolphins, I think they're going to be a good team. I could see them make it, like, I think I personally gave them 10 wins in our schedule thing. I think I gave them 10 wins. And look, that could get them in the playoffs. It could not get them in the playoffs. They've still got to face the same teams we do almost. Like, they don't have a cakewalk of a schedule. And I don't even think, even if the Bills lose this weekend, right, I still don't think it's like they're going to have their high, right, for a couple of weeks. But it's like week 15, our team is built for, in week 15, we're going to be still just absolutely bonkers crazy with talent and going nuts. Whereas the Dolphins, I don't know if they're one of those teams that are, you know, just reaching their peak a little too early, or it's just one quarter. I don't even feel comfortable saying that. It's one quarter.
They haven't even played well. They played one quarter.
So, I don't know. Yeah, this is a really good, like, this is a really big game this weekend. But I think in the long term of it, where we look back at the season, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, remember when the Dolphins were 2-0 and Tua had that one good game? And then, like, we might be laughing at it at the end of the season. Like, remember they were saying they were going to be a threat to us, and they were number 3 in the power rankings. Like, it's one of those type of things. And it's so early on in the season. You know how many teams I've seen do good at the beginning of a season and then absolutely crap themselves? Like, you know
what would be fair? You know what would be fair? If we only took into consideration the first 7 quarters of the year, because the Bills didn't get to play the fourth quarter of their second game.
True. And even then,
look at those numbers.
Even then, those numbers are absolutely crazy. So it's like, all right, let's, like, you know how they compare, they're like, here's Tua's first whatever games to Josh Allen's first game. Okay, let's compare the 2022 Dolphins first 7 quarters versus the 2022 Bills first 7 quarters.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, these teams,
we should do that. We gotta make a graphic.
We should. Both these teams are 2-0, but I told my mom this morning. My mom couldn't give a shit about football. My dad has a friend coming, their best friend. He's a Dolphins fan, and he's coming over. And I was like, "Look, Mom, I'm sorry, but I'm wishing nothing. I hope they have the worst day ever over at your house. Like, I don't want them to have any fun." She's like, "Oh, but they're 2-0 too, Jake." And I go, "Yeah, but they're a different 2-0, Mom. Like, it is like." And I explained to her, I was like, this is what happened in the Patriots and Ravens game. This is what the Bills done. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, that does sound different. I'm like, yeah, it does. If my mom is able to acknowledge that, then Dolphins fans should acknowledge that, because
they're going to go from being 2-0 to screaming 2-0.
2-0.
Sunday. Like,
all right. But yeah, kind of just like the first things that I want to, you know, there's we've talked about it, the Dolphins fans trash talk. You know, I don't know what you've been doing. I have a whole list on Twitter marked of all the tweets that I am they're going to be on the show next week. We're going to have the Dolphins fan clowning session next week on Built Different. And I'm going to have all these tweets. They're all screenshotted too. So if they delete them, they ain't leaving my eye. Yeah, they're there. I've already got them. So it's crazy, man. So what have you seen this week? What is like the craziest thing that you've seen Dolphins fans talking this week?
The fact that they think that they could keep up with the Bills is great. I mean, like, honestly, anything other than you guys are going to blow us out sounds crazy to me. Dolphins fans, y'all shouldn't have no hope. I mean, like, y'all got Ice Cube's chance in hell. And I don't mean the rapper. I'm saying, like, y'all have no shot. I mean, like, y'all remember that one year when y'all could have made the playoffs, yo.
You gotta save it for hate week.
Y'all remember that year y'all could have made the playoffs, bro? And y'all didn't because you didn't have your backup quarterback. Yo, stop talking to me. Like, yo, Dolphins fan, yo, listen. Y'all got that ass waxed every other time. It's about to happen again. All right. I'm talking greasy because, like, I've never been more sure of anything in my life. All right, so let me tell y'all why, because typically I wouldn't be talking this crazy, but the Bills got me amped up, right? So Saturday, we were at Resurgence, brewery. Shout out to Resurgence. Mm-hmm. My man Joe Miller, my man Jay Spence, Buffalo Rumblings released a new beer. They had a mega pod, right? I hop on the mic. It's like, anybody got any questions? So I hop on the mic. I'm like, yo, you take a look at the Titans. You see what the Bills did in week 1. How the hell are the Titans supposed to score? Where are their points supposed to come from? Why should I not think that the Titans are about to get zipped, right? So, of course, on Tennessee's first drive, they end up scoring a touchdown. I feel stupid because I'm like, oh, maybe it's going to be a better game than I thought, right? Or not a better, because I want to see the Bills blow everybody out. Maybe this is going to be a more competitive game than I thought, right? No, I was right. I just, was off by one drive. Like, they literally one drive touchdown and the rest was nothing. They couldn't get anything done. And then after a certain point, because you can't score touchdowns, the Buffalo Bills are scoring touchdowns. Now you can't score field goals because you're down by 1. You got to go for it. And then you miss it, and now you still have 0 points. This team is too good. Like, this is, y'all know I got to be early on everything. And this is a bold statement. This may very well be the best team in NFL history. Right?
I honestly don't think, I don't think it's out of pocket to say that. Like, I know some people
17, 21, 22, and 0.
I don't, if they're the best team in history, we'll have a bye. We'll have a first round bye. So yeah, that would eliminate one game.
Right.
So,
but it was 21-0 before when it was a 16-game season, right?
Yeah, if you played no, it was 20-0.
So it'd be 17 divisional championships, Super Bowl. So 20-0. All right. 21, yeah. 20-0.
So 20.
Oh, 19-0. It was 19-0.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna share one tweet that I have here from a Dolphins fan that just completely sums up how I wanted the word to an extra word of the day to be delusional, but here, Bills haven't played a team with any weapons. All right, we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna dissect that first part of the tweet. We haven't played a team with any weapons. All right, first of all, I can understand if you say that if you just watched the Titans game because Robert Woods and Treylon Burks. Okay,
Robert Woods was a dog in LA. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, LA, right? Yeah, LA. You want to talk about LA because we played them and we dogged them week 1. Who'd they have? Oh, they just had Allen
Cooper
Robinson and Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson. Like, those dudes aren't scrubs. What are we talking about? Like, Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown last year as a wide receiver. And Allen Robinson has had 6 seasons with over 1,000 yards. No, they haven't played any weapons.
With trash quarterbacks, mind you.
Yeah. But no, we haven't played any weapons. Guys, we haven't played any weapons.
Robert Woods played for those same Super Bowl champions last year, got himself a ring, was a part of the reason they got a ring. Derrick Henry, yo, listen, what are we saying?
I know.
Derrick Henry led the league in the NFL in rushing through like 12 weeks, even though he got injured in week 6. What are we talking about? What? No weapons for real?
No,
that what we do? That's what we're doing.
No weapons.
Come on.
All right. So here we go. Here is the second part of this tweet. There's 3 parts of this delusional tweet. The Bills defense is mid this year. This was posted 9/22/22 yesterday. Bills defense is mid, Justus. Bills defense is mid. I mean, am I going to sit here and give any light to that? You'd swear that this dude's a troll. You'd think he is. But if you go and look at his other tweets, nah, man. He just loves the Dolphins. Bills defense is mid.
That means
he loves the Dolphins, but he don't know football, apparently.
You know what that means? That just means he don't watch the games. You know what I found that people do? People like to say, oh, wow, that team that won the Super Bowl last year is trash because the Bills blew them out. No, they not trash.
No.
The Bills just made them look trash.
Titans trash because Titans might be trash, but Rams, no.
I don't think the Titans trash either. I just think maybe they ain't got it right now. I think
maybe
trash.
they're just mid right now, trying to figure out
what to do. Honestly, quite frankly, who they play in week 1? They lost to the Giants. I don't think the Giants are a horrible team. I think the Giants are reasonably good. I think the Giants are pretty decent.
Could be a playoff team this year.
Exactly. Dude. So now that loss is not as bad as you think it is, right? And then you come and you get slapped around by the Bills. Now you're looking at that team like they garbage. That may not necessarily be true. The Giants might be good. We know the Bills are good. The Titans might have just had 2 really bad games to start the season.
Maybe. Here we go. Last thing. This is the one that really gets me going, Justus. Like the Bills defense is mid one, really like kind of got me, but it went into this one. They have good defenders, but Howard and Holland, not even Howard and Jones or Howard and Needham, Xavier and Howard and Javon Holland are better than any of their corners or safeties. This is before injury reports. This is before anybody knows if anybody's out.
They don't know. They don't know football.
This is a man saying Xavier Howard and Javon Holland are better than first team All-Pro, Jordan Poyer, second team All-Pro, Micah Hyde, Pro Bowler, Tre'Davious White. Even though he's not playing, they said all of the Bills.
He was corners. Also an All-Pro.
Yeah. So think about that. Like that, I can kind of like the other ones under that, I kind of understand. You know, Xavier Howard.
Johnson.
But I don't think Javon Holland's better than Teron Johnson.
Not at all.
Dude, I couldn't believe I saw that one last night. I was laughing. I literally was laughing reading that. I was like, that's going on the list. I'm going to get that Chris Jericho thing. That's going to be the thing. It's going to be Jake's list, and we're going to go over the worst tweets that I've seen over the week from fan bases that we're playing. And it's going to have the Chris Jericho thing that's just like, you just made the list. Like that's going on every single time. It is crazy. I read that. But Justus, that's just one. I've got about 20 in there of some terrible, terrible tweets. Those will come next week. But we've gotten to the last part of the show. An hour and 13 in. Justus, we weren't here last week, but we still got our picks in. So, we've got, of course, J&J's weekend picks, where we're going to go over all of the games this weekend, Monday and Thursday, and we're going to give you who we think is going to play in it or win it. And I'm going to put on some music. There we go. There's some music in the background. And we're going to do this a little bit differently this time. I don't have a little graphic for us. But what we do have is NFL website. So we'll just go off of this. I'll zoom in a little bit. So it's not there we go. So, of course, we have the Steelers and the Browns. If you look at, first of all, I'm going to take this off the screen. Justus is 17-14-2. So above 500. I'm 19-12-2. So there's only a couple of 2 games that separate us. So it's not the farthest thing away from each other. And of course, we're all 2 because there was a tie with the Colts in week 1. And we didn't get our our picks in for last night's game on Thursday, so we just made that a tie.
Thank goodness, because I'd have picked the Steelers. So
I would have picked the Steelers too. So I'm glad we didn't do that. But now we get to talk about the games this week, Justus, and now it's we know what some of these teams look like. Right. So let's start off with at 1 p.m. on Fox, the Saints go into Charlotte. Is that where they play? Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
To take on the 0-2 Panthers, who, Justus, they haven't looked too hot. These Panthers, they don't look all that good. And the Saints are coming off a tough loss to the Bucks, but man, did they play them hard still. Like, the Saints and the Bucks is becoming a rivalry that, for years to come, like, might just get more and more intense. It's maybe one of the better modern
the Saints might take over and start smacking them around when Tom Brady retire.
Yeah, maybe. So we've got Saints at Panthers. Who do you got in this one?
Never ever betting on Baker Mayfield again after he let his old team come in and smack him. So I'm going with the Saints. Just off the strength that Baker's the quarterback.
So I'm going to, before we do this,
it's Baker.
I'm gonna write that. Yeah, I mean, that first week we bet on Baker to be the Browns, and
never again.
No, didn't happen. That's kind of where I got my 2 games on you, was actually week 1 when I picked. I got a couple of those crazy games where I said that no, I think the Chiefs are going to smack the Cardinals.
I did think that dumbass. Yeah,
and then I said the Vikings would beat the Packers, and then they went in and absolutely.
Oh, that was a good one.
But you got that Giants one. I was surprised. You got you called the Giants week 1. So we, and then this week I think I just gained like 1 game. So we're pretty much even. Look, we're on the same kind of wavelength.
Same stratosphere.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Saints here too. I mean, I just cannot, for the life of me, bet on this Panthers team looks terrible, Justus.
You know what's crazy is on paper they look like they should be good, but then they get on the field and you're like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get it.
It's terrible. But then not only do we get that beautiful matchup to start off at 1:00 on CBS, this looks like the most 1:00 on CBS game ever. They want to bury it. Nobody needs to see this. The Texans, who are 0-1-1, take on the Bears that are 1-1. And the Bears, they got that upset win over the 49ers week 1 that we did not see coming, and that's because Trey Lance couldn't get it done, and it was in a monsoon, and for some reason there were pools on a football field. What are we doing, Chicago?
They should not have played with that.
Yeah, the Bears pull it out. Who do you think you got in this one?
This is tough. I could actually see this going either way.
I know this actually might be a sneaky good game, or like a sneaky, like really boring game.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of the two. It's going to be really competitive either way. I typically would have my NFC bias, meaning that I want any team that's not the Bills in the AFC to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm gonna go with the Texans here. I think I'm gonna have them. I think they win this game.
I actually don't think you're too far off. I'm going to pull up the Texans here so that we can go over the 2 games that they have played. Let's see. So 20, and then they still kept the Broncos to 16 points. Then again, the Broncos have been terrible, and they scored 9. So in this game, I want to believe in the Bears a little bit, but something's telling me that Jerry Hughes has looked like he's had a little bit of a resurgence being that guy with the Texans.
Too.
I've had some fun watching them. I'm gonna go with the Texans. So we both are taking the Texans on this one. Write that down. Big one, 1:00. I'm surprised this game's actually 1:00. I know if you thought about it before when they were taking the TV schedule before the season, I thought for sure this one would be like a 4:25 type game, but Chiefs going to Indianapolis. Indianapolis, of course, not looking all too hot recently. The Chiefs having a absolutely amazing first game against the Cardinals, and then having a really close one with division rival, the Chargers. The Colts, again, almost the opposite, going to the Texans. As you can see, they have a tie because they tied with the Texans. And then they got blanked 24-0 by the Jaguars last week. 24-0.
Sheesh.
Man, I think the spread for this game though is only like, I think it's like 6 or something. Like they think it's gonna still be a close game. What do you think about this one?
I would do anything to see the Colts win this game, just because I want to make fun of the Chiefs. But just for the sake of my record, I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I just don't see the Colts winning this game. If the Chiefs win this game, if the Chiefs lose this game, rather, I want all y'all to shut up and stop talking to me about the Chiefs being better than the Bills.
I will definitely be on Twitter to go this one. Look, I've got a 2-game lead on you, and I don't want to is this the week that they finally go, you know what? Jonathan Taylor is going to be a monster. And we're finally, we're done. Like, they get Shaquille Leonard back. He's a menace on the defense. Are they finally going to, get it working? Is something going to happen? God, I just want to pick the Chiefs because it's the safe one. But I'm going Colts.
I would gladly give you that game for the Bills that came up in the AFC.
I'm just picking it because I'm like, I feel like the Chiefs, again, last week, they didn't look too hot, man. Like, it was a close game, but, like, Patrick Mahomes looks like, he's a guy that can be beat. And I think this Colts defense could beat Patrick Mahomes. And if their offense can just get anything going, this game might be better than maybe some people think. Of course, we have Bills, Dolphins. We've just been talking about it for half an hour. Justus, who do you think wins this game?
Bills, Dolphins. Look, man, that Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle mix is just too dangerous. I'm gonna
very potent, man.
I'm going with the Bills here.
Yeah, I took the Bills as well. I think that betting against the Bills, at least from what they've shown us the last two, is they're a team on a mission. And if the defense just has a rough time because there's people missing, I think Josh Allen and the offense are going to more than make up for it. And I think the defense, honestly, the Bills defense just has to get a couple of stops and put the Dolphins down big, and this game could get out of hand really fast. So, yeah, I almost feel it's going to be a good game to the national media. But, I mean, in reality, this could be an absolute stinker for the Dolphins. But good one for us. Next one, Lions at Vikings.
It's a good game.
Dude, the Lions, I remember I told you when we were breaking down the schedule, I was like, look, those Lions, they're not pushovers, man. They're hungry. They are a hungry team. They are like the most doubted team out there. And yeah, man, going against the Vikings, look, the Vikings absolutely whooped the Packers in week 1, and then they go out and they get absolutely destroyed by the Eagles, who by all accounts really look like the NFC favorite so far. So maybe them just getting whooped by the Eagles was just a wake-up call, kind of like to the rest of the NFC that, hey, the Eagles, you don't play around with them. But the Vikings, I still think, are a good team. The Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, oh my God, if you have him in fantasy, you are eating. You will eat. I don't know in this game, though. I think the Vikings pull this one out, Justus. I think the Lions, they're a scrappy young team, but I think that the Vikings, coming off of a loss like they had against the Eagles in primetime, this isn't primetime Kirk Cousins. This is 1 p.m. on a Sunday, Kirk Cousins, and that's when he feasts. So I'm going to take the Vikings here.
And the Lions are scrappy. They here to eat on some kneecaps. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a dog. Okay, Jared
Hawkinson, dog.
Not bad. TJ Hawkinson, yes, he's a dog.
DeAndre Swift.
I would love to pick the Lions here, but Justin Jefferson got shut down by Darius Slay last week.
Yeah,
and he is pissed off. He is about to do some really disgusting things, very inappropriate things to that Lions defense, and I'm kind of scared for them. So hide your kids, hide your safeties, hide your quarterbacks. Justin Jefferson is about to be out here.
Out there. Oh my god! You know, and I really would, as dangerous as Justin Jefferson is, I just wish that Kirk Cousins would look at Adam Thielen. My God, you're killing my fantasy team. Kirk, what are we doing? Vikings win this game. Ravens going into Gillette Stadium in Foxborough against the Patriots. Both teams 1-1. Ravens coming off of what has to be an absolute disaster of a meltdown in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots beating the Steelers. So, you know.
What? Baltimore, what the hell are y'all doing with this money you don't want to pay Lamar if you're not? Like, what's going on here?
Paying? Who are we paying?
Like, you got $1 million combined tied up in your secondary right now the way they played the Dolphins. It has to be. If you're paying them more than that, then they overcharging you. All right, because that was egregious. That was disgusting what they put. Like football fans just thoroughly did not enjoy that. I don't even think Miami Dolphins fans enjoyed that type of football if it didn't affect their team in a positive way, right? So either pay that man or I don't know. But for this one, I got a blowout alert. I think I think Lamar is about to.
Yeah,
he's about to go stupid on Bill Belichick, yo.
Now, don't get me wrong, Bill Belichick, he actually has been pretty good against Lamar and Mahomes.
Yeah.
So it's like
back then too.
Yeah. I think that they're a lot slower. I think Lamar's on a mission, dude. Like I told you, if nobody's went back and watched it, go watch Sunday in February on Wednesday. That show we talked about kind of like who are our top 5 quarterbacks. And I put Lamar in my top 5. I put him at 4, I believe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He has been absolutely phenomenal this year. Like, I think he's actually developing a passing game that is deadly and they will use in conjunction with his legs. Like he's kind of becoming a more, not just a one-dimensional quarterback, and I love it. I love it. It's like it's been in there and it's been unlocked, and I think that Lamar goes in and he handles the Patriots.
Absolutely agree. And also, I think you're right about his passing game, although I will make a slight amendment. I don't think his passing game is getting deadly. I think it's been deadly. I just never used it. Exactly.
Yeah, I could definitely go with that as well. Let's see. I'm just reading the comments here too. Armstead out, so Dolphin. Oh, if Armstead's out, dude, that's
Von Miller about to go stupid.
Dude, whoever. So that's the left side, right? So that's
like you about for the Dolphins, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the left tackle.
No, I mean Gregory Rousseau about to go stupid. Well,
yeah.
Technically Von Miller, but
they can
to
switch him up. It doesn't
exactly.
matter what
Coach Mookie Hawkins, of course, for those of you. He was saying that he would like to see Von move to the right side for this game to attack to his blind side. So
exactly, that's exactly what I would if I was game planning for this game. I'd be like, you go put Super Bowl champion Von Miller onto his blind side. It's gonna be an absolute disaster, I think, for him.
Sure.
So we got that game. Now it's the next one. Oh, your favorite. It's your boy. Joe Burrow going into New Jersey and has to go take on Joe Flacco and the Jets. who are coming off of a week 2 comeback victory against the Browns, who I don't know what was in the water in the AFC North that week, but they just both gave up huge leads. And honestly, I thought that game was over. I turned it off. I turned that game off, and then all of a sudden, I looked at the score when I was going for the 425 games on Sunday Ticket, and it was like, oh no, the Jets won. Like, what do you mean the Jets won? That's how crazy that game was. I thought it was over. But speaking about this, dude, the Bengals are 0-2. And I know you love that. I know you love that.
I do. I'm not even
they got to win at some point. They've got to. And I think it's against the Jets. Like, this is the game you have to win, right?
This is a must-win if you're a so-called playoff team. Here's the thing. This is the perfect opportunity for me to hedge my bets because outside of a Chiefs loss, nothing would, and a Bills win, nothing would make me happier than a Bengals loss here to the Jets. I don't care if the Jets are in our division. I don't give a damn.
Oh, well, yeah, because we're not scared of the Jets, you know?
Exactly. Y'all been talking to me about Joe Burrow for 6 months. Now, I've been saying, what were you watching? It was the defense and Jamar Chase the entire time. And now it's being proven, and I hope the Jets prove it further, but I'm going to go with the Bengals because I agree they have to get a W at some point, and this is a way for me to be happy either way it swings.
Yeah, you still want to be happy with your picks. You don't want to fall too far behind and take. I feel like it would be irresponsible to take the Jets over the Bengals. That's kind of the ones that, if you lose on it, you just take the L. Yeah. It's the smarter pick to take the Bengals. And speaking of 0-2, we got two teams that are both 0-2.
This is an interesting.
The game. Raiders and the Titans.
Both one of these two teams not making the playoffs.
I think it's the Titans because I think the Raiders are like what I saw from the Titans against the Giants and against the Bills, who had a formidable defensive line that was able to shut down Derrick Henry. I think that the Raiders have that defensive line that can do that as well. I think that Devontae Adams is basically going to do exactly what Stephon Diggs did, like to Fulton or whoever their corner is that they're going to roll out there. I'm taking the Raiders here. I think the Titans dropped to 0-3. They have just not looked good, and they've looked so one-dimensional. And I think the Raiders right now are one of those teams that we talked about it on Wednesday. Feels like that they just kind of they're in like a slump and a learning phase. They're still trying to learn, and I think this is their first win of the season.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think Derrick Henry goes absolutely wild in this game, and I do think the Titans are gonna win. But I can't comfortably say that just because I think that the Raiders have a much better roster. So for my bet, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. But I actually think the Titans might pull this one out.
I think, yeah. I mean, there's always a chance, of course. I just feel like that Raiders pass attack with Hunter Renfrow and with Devontae Adams, like it's just like Darren Waller, it's so much more potent when it clicks, the Titans aren't going to know what to do. Right. Like I truly don't think so.
And Tennessee has to adjust to life without AJ Brown.
Oh yeah, it's not working out for them.
It's working out for the Eagles.
It sure is. Speaking of the Eagles, the 2-0 Eagles, who by all accounts, I mean, is it a shock? Like, I feel like it's a shock at this point in the season to call them the odds-on Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, strong.
For the NFC, I feel like that's still strong, but they're coming off of a Monday night where Monday night was just full of ass whoopings.
It was.
Like, no matter what it was. That's why I had to text my friend Aaron. I'm like, look, those Eagles, they look good too. But, like, I watched that game on replay, and I was like, oh, dang, the Eagles, they're about it, because I saw what Kirk Cousins and the Vikings did to the Packers the week before. So, like, I was like, okay, this team might be for real. That defense, it is nasty.
Yes, it is. That D line is disgusting.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts, dude, the weapons he has in his legs, dude,
he's performing with it too. So You know what? I'm gonna be nice. Shout out to Tua and Jalen Hurts. Through 2 weeks, y'all are for Jalen Hurts and Tua for 1 quarter, but through 2 weeks, y'all really have used y'all new weapons, to the best of your abilities, and I do commend that. Y'all balling, or Jalen Hurts, you're balling with your guy, and Tua, you can definitely throw to wide open people. So good job.
Yeah, I'm loving the Eagles right now. The Commanders, not so much. I wish they were still the football team. They were at least a little bit more enjoyable to watch when people had to call them that. Carson Wentz, he looked good last week. You did a Carson Wentz thing. He absolutely stunk up the joint the first week. Last week, it looked pretty good. So let's see. Nice pod. Mike, wish you had more people in the chat, but it's late on Friday. Yeah, Mike, we're building up the community. The people will come in time.
Yeah, and honestly, it used to be a lot less than this. So
yeah, this is actually awesome.
Pretty good. Yeah, shout out to y'all.
So, Justus, I can't take the Commanders here. I gotta take the Eagles. They are hot right now, man.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say they're the Super Bowl favorites, but I will have to admit they are the best looking team in the NFC right now. So I have to agree. I'm going to go with the Eagles as well.
Yeah, I think it's early for those Eagles, but I think that, if they're looking like this now, hopefully they don't fade out. They're one of those teams that really just kind of carry it in. The Bills-Eagles Super Bowl, I mean, we're both some of the craziest ass fans in the league. That might be one of the craziest tailgates ever. Might not buy a ticket to the Super Bowl, but I might go out to Arizona just to tailgate if that's the case, because that would be fun. Jaguars, Chargers, and I'm all by myself. So I'm going to talk about this game a little bit. Oh, Justus is back. I was all by myself for a second, Justus. And so Jaguars, Chargers. Jags coming off a absolute whooping, but not because it happened to them. They put it on the Colts.
Division rivals.
Look, I picked up James Robinson in fantasy, and people called me crazy. They said Travis Etienne is going to be the guy. They drafted him. Look, 2 playoff teams to non-play. I mean, they could be this year, honestly. I think that the Jaguars, I picked up James Robinson. I said, look, Doug Peterson, they paid all those guys. You think they're still rebuilding? No, they want to win. That team wants to win. So why would they play ETN when James Robinson has been that dude? So of course they did. So what you saying, Jake? I'm saying that.
So what you saying?
I'm saying that maybe Justin Herbert with the fractured rib cartilage, whatever the hell that is.
I forgot about that. That's a great point.
Whatever the hell that is. He takes 1 hit from Josh Allen. That might, I don't know. This game might be closer.
Oh, for God, did Justin Herbert broke his ribs?
The Chargers still have a really good defense, though. Chargers got a really good defense. They got Bosa, Khalil Mack. They've got who in the back? Derwin James. J.C. Jackson will be back for this game. So
Trevor Lawrence don't got to worry because they drop every interception that's thrown their way. So
apparently, so I mean, this one's a bit closer than I think, and I know it's the safer bet to just pick the Chargers, right? But something's telling me that the Jaguars, that Jaguars team, they might, Urban Meyer ain't there anymore. Like the college girls, they're out of the facility. They ain't there no more. It's all ball with Doug Peterson, and he's bringing ice cream bars in for everybody in those meetings. So I think, oh man, I've just been doing a lot of we have a lot of the same picks here. And it's like, I want to be different in some of these games, but I don't want to be reckless.
Right.
Give me the Jaguars.
Yeah,
give me the Jaguars.
That's what I'm talking about. I did the same thing, Mike. I actually picked the Jaguars to win the AFC South because I was, what did I say? I said the Titans looked disheveled. Since before the season started, I've been saying that. I've been saying
he might be wearing one this week, Mike.
Who? What?
Well, he said, was Herbert even wearing his flak jacket? If he was, it was the thin one. He'll definitely be wearing yeah.
I saw him. He was wearing a thin one. I said the Titans would be disheveled, which they look disheveled.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans are on the up and coming, but I don't think they're quite at the level of the Jaguars yet. And I said the Colts could be good, but I need to see it first. Excuse me. From what I've seen, they're not good. They're not good. So I also picked the Jaguars to win the AFC South. But in this game, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to hedge my bets again because I would love to see a Chargers loss here.
You're trying to
see a 24-0 blowout.
You seeing me taking these chances, and you're like,
no. I was going to pick them anyway, but I'm just saying that I would love to see the Jaguars come out and blow the curtains off of the Chargers. I mean,
not even that. I'd like to see a good game. You know, like if they
like
go toe to toe. I'm telling you this right now: if the Chargers and the Jaguars is a close game, I'm done thinking the Chargers are any kind of contender. Like,
I mean, Justin Herbert's pretty good though.
No, but I'm saying if it's a close game, if they're in a close game with the Jaguars, that's the thing. I think the Jaguars can win this game, but I think that they're still at a lower level to where if the Chargers are on an even playing field with the Jaguars, I don't even want to hear them being talked about as like a team that could win it all. I think they would still have to be, you know, I get it, it's any given Sunday, but I'm taking the Jaguars for the upset, but
they would have to come out of that conversation until further notice.
Yeah, until like, all right, you guys need to absolutely beat up on some teams.
Oh yeah, you just ran through the Chiefs, the Chargers, or the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Broncos, and I don't know, what's another good AFC team?
Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins. You just ran through all of them. Okay, now maybe you're a contender again.
See, Dolphins haters can't watch this show and think that, you know, we don't give any respect to the Dolphins.
No, the Dolphins are decent. They just not as good as the best team in the league.
I just can't be they're a threat to the Bills type of team. They're not. You know? Like, it's like, but I still think they're a good team that is in the hunt. They're going to be that playoff hunt.
I think they're above average team.
Okay, so you took the Chargers. I took the Jags. This one could be a good game. Rams, Cardinals. Justus, what are we thinking here, right? So the Rams get absolutely stomped by the Bills. Cardinals get absolutely stomped by the Chiefs. Both teams come back. They win their matchups in week 2. Cardinals go in the distance with the Raiders. Like, that was a good game. Kyler Murray. Yeah. We still have some time before the new Call of Duty drops. So I think that Kyler Murray...
Also, guys, let us know who y'all want to pick in the comment section. We want to know who y'all want to pick as well. So for this one,
I'm going.
I think I agree with you. I'm gonna go with the Rams too, because we got to see the Chargers later on, and or not the Chargers, the Cardinals later on, and we played the NFC West this year, right? That's why we played the Rams.
No,
was the Rams the extra NFC team?
Yeah, that was the extra NFC game. So we don't see the Cardinals this year. We saw them last year. Remember, we got Hail Murray'd on.
Oh yeah, that was all right. So scratch that. I still want the Rams to win so that we get the strength of schedule. But in this game, I think it's going to be interesting. Because I don't know where Allen Robinson is in his whole maturation process with Matthew Stafford. They don't seem comfortable yet. Matthew Stafford still feels like he's playing injured. And the Cardinals...
Allen Robinson had a touchdown last week.
Oh,
because I have him in fantasy. So
I hope they figure it out, you know. But the Cardinals, they seem a little lackluster to me. They needed every ounce of strength and will and their power to beat those Raiders last week. And the Raiders aren't necessarily a horrible team, but I don't know. Something just tells me that the Rams got this one. Although I will say on record, I do trust Kyler Murray more than I trust Matthew Stafford right now.
Okay, so you're taking the Rams in this one?
Taking the Rams.
Taking the Rams. All right.
This is a good one.
Oh, yeah?
No, I mean, like, not a good one in terms of two good teams, but a good one in terms of, I don't know who's going to win this game. This could be a competitive football game.
It better be the damn Falcons.
Yeah, I know for you.
It better be the Falcons. I thank you, Mike. He said, just remember they have Cody Ford now, so definitely take the Rams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Probably.
Cody Ford blocking Aaron Donald.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god. Oh, Kyler's gonna die. Oh my god.
So honestly, forgive me here. I'm gonna click on this. I gotta go in here. Teams, the Falcons. I gotta look at their page, their games. I didn't watch their last game.
I know.
It was against the Rams. Look at how they played the Rams.
Oh damn. Oh, the Rams. I might have to change my Rams pick.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, the Cardinals might go in there and
they get blown out by us, and then they barely beat the Falcons. Ugh. Who did they play in week 1 though?
The Falcons. They played the Saints. Remember that was the game that was like really, really close.
Right. And I remember because I picked the Falcons to beat the Saints.
and I picked the Saints.
Oh, so the Falcons been playing two pretty good teams pretty close. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Falcons here over the Seattle Seahawks.
I was gonna take the Falcons anyway because they better win.
That dog water, you better win.
I swear, dude. Like, I'm every Seahawks game, I'm watching it intently. I'm like, you guys better lose this week. Like, I need them to lose. Again, I said they won't win more than 5 games, right?
I was 4.
I'll have to go back and check the tape. That might be 4 or 5. But like, that means if they win 4 games, I don't. If they win 4, I don't have to drink it. But if they win 5, I'm done. Like, I have to drink it. So, yeah, I'm watching every one of those games.
I love it. I think I said the Bengals in the playoffs, right? Or no, I think I said 9 wins. I don't remember which one I said, but
we'll have to check the tape. Don't worry, we'll run the tape back, and then
I got it in one of these notebooks somewhere. I'll check the notebooks.
I don't remember what Mike's cop-out answer was for a dog water bet.
I think it was Kirk Cousins related, right?
Something like that. Yeah. And then Coach Boom, I forget what his was. I'll go back and check the tape for Coach Boom's dog water bet too. Yeah. But okay, so we picked the Falcons there. A good one here. Packers, Bucks. I'll probably be I'll have all these games on, but like this will probably be the one I have the sound on. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. Brady Rodgers.
Will Cole Beasley be playing this week for the Bucks?
Probably not. He just got signed to the practice squad. Oh, but Julio is questionable, so maybe.
So, I don't know. Maybe they teach him a little bit of the playbook and he's out there. I mean, Tom Brady would probably just be like, slant. Slant. Like.
So to me, Aaron Rodgers is by far, no, I don't want to say by far because Tom Brady is still balling. Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback right now, but Tom Brady has hella more weapons. And his defense, they have the best defense in the league.
They've been nuts, dude. That's the one thing that has me going. Yeah, these
they have allowed 8.5 points per game. They're the only reason we don't have the number 1 defense in the NFL right now. So 3 points for the Cowboys and then 10 points to the Saints. Like, their defense is balling out of control. Aaron Rodgers is throwing to wide open wide receivers who can't catch the ball. I have to go with the Bucks here.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bucks too, just on their defense alone. Look, and Tom Brady, he's been looking like he's having a rough time, but I think that I can't bet against Tom. Like, it's Tom versus time. Time is still not winning, right. And the Buccaneers, they're 2-0. even though they've been struggling, they're 2-0.
Tom Brady might be the first person to ever beat time. He just might be in the long list of men who cannot beat their wives. Wow, that sounded wrong. Who cannot defeat their wives. Okay.
Oh man.
His wife.
Nobody clip that.
His wife is gonna make him quit football before time makes him quit football. That is the juxtaposition of what I was.
He cannot beat his wife's wrath. That's what it is.
Yo, stop.
Okay. All right. So we're both taking the Bucks here. Sunday Night Football, 49ers, Broncos. Broncos just look awful. 49ers with Jimmy G look good. I'm taking the Niners.
Ooh.
Nathaniel Hackett has been a stooge out there.
Awful. I have to. Oh my god! I have to feel like at some point they get it together. Like I have to. I mean, maybe there's a little grace period where they didn't quite know each other yet or whatever. But I have to figure at some point they get it together. And I think that maybe Trey Lance's injury could potentially be, a deterrent to the team. And
anonymous sources have come out and said that team morale is higher with the 49ers now with Jimmy G.
I low-key believe it. It's one of those situations. Oh, we talked about this on Sunday in February. Yeah. Where, they're better off with Jimmy Garoppolo right now, but not like
long term.
Mike said it perfectly. 49ers have the superior roster, but this is Russell Wilson's Baker game. Okay.
Debo's gonna go crazy on these fools, dog.
This is Russell Wilson's
exactly, Mike. Hackett was a stooge OC for the Bills.
He was, and the only reason he was good with the Packers is because he had the greatest
Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, okay, y'all convinced me. I'm going to 49ers.
Yeah, 49. Look, I mean, if that's one of those ones where I feel like if the Broncos get it together, that's fine. But then I look at it and I go, it's Shanahan versus Nathaniel Hackett, and Hackett has looked terrible, and Shanahan finally has a quarterback that he knows he can win with, and they've still got all that talent. I'm sure George Kittle will be playing. Debo's going to go absolutely insane.
Isn't it funny that the quarterback he knows he can win with now is the quarterback he's had all along?
I know.
That's funny.
Man. Monday Night Football. Giants Cowboys. Giants 2-0. The Giants have looked good. Cowboys look good too with Cooper Rush actually out there finally using Tony Pollard like they should. The week that I benched him because they were using him not at all the first week with Dak. So
for the first time in a long time, I don't absolutely despise this primetime NFC East game. I don't hate this.
Well, because I feel like all the NFC East is so mid that I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's see how these two teams play. Yeah. I'll let you pick this one first because I think the Cowboys looked pretty good last week.
They did. And Cooper Rush is pretty good. He's decent. I believe that Joe Schoen is doing the right thing. I think Daboll's doing the right thing. I think they learned a lot from McBean, and so I'm gonna go with the Giants here. I think their season is gonna fall off the rails at some point, but I don't think it's gonna be right now. I think that they're going to realize that they have something that they can build on, and they're going to be pretty good next year. This year, I think they'll just be decent, but I think that they give themselves another week of feeling good with a 3-0 start.
I'm going to look at these rankings here. Giants 31st in passing, 5th in rushing. It's because they got Saquads.
Saquads.
Yeah. Defense 5th, 9th, actually pretty decent on defense, and then offense. Look at all signs pointing Cowboys except for in the passing game. Passing game, Cooper Rush again. They throw it to Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard pretty much acts as a pseudo slot receiver now. That's why I picked him up, because I thought that he was going to be absolutely nasty. But this is a tough one for me. Since you went Giants, I'm gonna go Cowboys. Since we've got so many of these picked together, I know a lot of people are like, a lot of people are going like, it's the Cooper Rush thing like Mike White last year. Is it that one game where he just has a pretty decent game and they win? Is that what Cooper Rush had? Maybe.
Or could he be the next Dak Prescott?
You know what's crazy? So when everybody said that, they're like, Jerry Jones was like, I would welcome a quarterback controversy. Everyone's like, how could you say that after you paid Dak? And it's kind of like, as an owner of a football team, look, if you can have 2 quarterbacks on your roster that can win,
good problems.
Like, it's a good problem to have. So I would welcome one too. Yeah, and like Mike said, McCarthy's a terrible coach. Yeah, I mean, it could come down to it. I feel like maybe that the Cowboys are just a little bit more explosive on offense if, Cooper Rush is playing okay. So I'm going to go Cowboys. You'll go Giants. I'm not super confident in it, but, it is how it is. Giants. And then we got to pick the Thursday night game because we don't go on until Fridays. So I got to go up here. Week 4. Thursday night football. Dolphins, Bengals. Justus.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. We got the 2-1 Dolphins versus the 0-3 Bengals. Oh Lord, no.
Justus.
No.
Oh man.
Hell
no.
No.
Past 3 touchdowns and throw 4.
I'm never answering that question again. Oh man, that's a God.
It all depends on how these games go for these two teams, man.
Do I want the Bengals to have another loss so bad that it keeps the Dolphins within arm's reach of us in the division?
I would go Bengals this game.
Oh man. I'm gonna go Bengals, I guess. I don't want either of them to win.
I don't want. Yeah, can they tie?
Yeah, exactly. I'm rooting for a tie.
We're gonna root for a tie. Yeah. So we're both going Bengals here, man. We're not really different except for a couple games. I mean, it's always like that though.
Hey, but we're above 500 for a reason, so.
Yeah, because we make good picks. How many Dolphins will be left standing? I don't know. Dolphins don't stand, so I don't know, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh man. Wow. So we got the picks are in. Of course, you can always see our you can see just what we have here. Let's see. We're going to turn the music off. Can both teams lose? Exactly, Mike. No, so yeah, as you can see, our record's above us. I don't know for some reason why Justus's record is on my side. I'm that guy. If you couldn't tell the difference between us and our heads up there. No, if they didn't know which one was us.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know we look so much alike. You guys can't tell the difference. But no, as you can tell, we're slightly above average at picking football. Look at that. We're not terrible. We're pretty good at this.
And to be fair, there were a ton of shockers. Like, who thought that the Broncos would suck? Who thought that the Colts would suck?
I mean,
like, there's been some shockers. Who thought the Giants would be good? Who thought the Eagles would be good? Like, there's been some shockers.
We kind of thought the Eagles could be good, but
we thought they could be good, but we didn't think they could be this good.
And I thought that, the Broncos could lose on.
I didn't think the Broncos was going to suck though.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to be this bad, but
they're bad.
I thought they could lose that game though. But yeah, oh man, what a week, man. We're closing in on two. Yeah, we both have glasses. I know.
Sure do. That means we're smart.
Yeah, that's why we're above average at playing football games.
Yeah, but I'm sure the scores will get better throughout the week. But
and of course, if you're still tuned in, you're watching Built Different on the Buffalo Fanbase YouTube channel. And of course, it's presented by all the beautiful people over at 26 Shirts. And of course, J&J's Weekends picks were presented by Revmasters. And I'm going to go up here and read the promo. The originators of online sportsbook and your number one online gambling, casino, and sports betting home. Bet anywhere, anytime, on anything with Revmasters. If you are a loved one or affected by gambling addiction, please reach out to the National Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700. So
we're going to put the link to sign up with in the description below. It's not there yet, but it'll be there momentarily.
Yeah, it'll be there whenever we get that for you guys. And of course, this show's gone over 2 hours. What did I say at the beginning of the show? The show notes were small, right? But we always find time. We always fill up the time slot. We should be a radio show. We filled up 2 hours with like a page and a half with like a couple little bullet points on it, dude. Like we could do a whole 3-hour radio show.
We could make it happen for sure. Yeah, especially if people get to call in, we could 100% make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. If there's anybody who works in radio in Buffalo, I'm a radio and television broadcast major, so I bring a lot more than just good looks with me and Justus and football knowledge. So,
but thank you everybody for tuning in to Built Different. Make sure you guys tune in to the Lowdown every single Friday with my man Jake Jordan. Make sure you guys tune into Believe in Bills podcast, where I am now the host, so that's pretty cool. Ruben Brown and Mookie Hawkins also tune into Justice for All. I promise I will be actually doing a Justice for All at some point. We got a ton of other stuff coming, yo. Like I mentioned, the Ruben Brown pregame show. We got another woman. We got another show coming for with some very beautiful and amazing ladies. We've got some.
Did we mention they're beautiful?
We've got some little things coming out where it's gonna affect your timeline on social media a little bit. We got some vlogs. Listen, man. We are doing big things here at Fanbase. Make sure you guys come along for the ride. Make sure you click the like button, the subscribe button, and join us on our journey, because we appreciate every single like, comment, subscription, share, retweet, repost, all of it. All of it. We appreciate you guys because we do it for you guys, and we love you guys. We love you guys. Okay, so make sure you guys tune in, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and we will see you guys next week. But until then, this is Justice General from my man Jake Jordan on the original network. I don't know, the official network of the original Bills Mafia. Go Bills.
Go Bills.